Welcome back, family, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast slash YouTube slash We Do It All. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. And for the Knicks, I knew we had to bring on a very special guest, man, a well-known face here on the show. Had to bring on my guy, aka NBA Addict TV. My guy Jay, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing good, bro. I'm hyped to talk about my Knicks and what we got planned for this off season, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. We got the full Knicks offseason plans. We're gonna talk about some free agency decisions that they got to make, some extension eligible players, and we'll just get into. We'll also talk a little bit about this last season, and then what we're expecting for next season. And for the family out there, make sure you go check out all of Jay's content. Everything will be linked in the description down below. Go check out my guy, NBA content creator. Just dropped a great video hating on my boy Anthony Black. What's up with that, man? Let I gotta ask you that before anything. What's up? Why you don't like Anthony Black?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, the Orlando Magic already have like 5,000 guards already on their roster, bro. And then they take another guard that can't shoot. Make it make sense. They won 34 games last year. They're messing up the chemistry, bro. Come on, bro.
Oh man, make
He's
it
a
make
boss,
sense,
bro. He's a
Orlando.
boss, bro.
Make it make sense, Orlando. But that is for that's for another time. Right now, let's go ahead and get into this Knicks content, man. So let's go ahead and get into it, brother. So look, man, the Knicks finished with the 47-35 record, finished as the fifth seed. They beat the Cavs in 5 games and then lost the Heat in 6. So what I want to know is, as a Knicks fan, are you content with the way the year went?
Honestly, I'm really happy with how the year went. I know a lot of Knicks fans did have us going further in the playoffs, but considering how we started the season, we struggled a lot. I mean, like RJ Barrett, for instance, he was struggling with his outside shot for most of the year. Then toward the end of the year, he started to find himself. I'm really happy with how the year went. Although I do think we should have. I'm one of the Knicks fans that do think we should have went further in the playoffs. We should have beat Miami. That's the only thing I regret about this season. We should have beat Miami. If we have a healthy Quinn, Emmanuel quickly, or give me Julius Randle at about 85%, we come out of that series. And I'm not gonna lie, Jalen Brunson was tired of carrying us on his back, bro. But hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy with how the year went.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm not a Knicks fan, but from the outside looking in, you have to be happy, right? I mean, you got 10 more wins than you got the previous year. This is the first time having Jalen Brunson on the team. This is the first time making it to the second round since I believe 2013, 2014, when Carmelo Anthony was on the team. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's one of those things that you have to look at successes and strides, right? It's like you finally made it to the second round, and then next year you do even better than that. So I'm right there with you. I mean, you have to be happy. You have to be content with the way the year went. And that was exactly gonna be my next question. Like, with because you guys had a lot of injuries. So if you don't have all those injuries, do you think that the Knicks are the team that makes it out the East?
Oh, absolutely. See, I don't want to say make it out the East. That would make me look like a delusional Knicks fan. But I would say we would give Boston a fight in the Eastern Conference Finals. I can stand on that because we did give them trouble during the regular season. And I'm not gonna lie, Boston, they weren't there were some holes. There are some holes in Boston, and I think Miami really exposed that. And I think we could have exposed that as well. And I believe in Tibbs as a coach. Tibbs showed that he can actually coach this off season. When Julius Randle, a big criticism about Tibbs is that he doesn't hold Julius Randle accountable, and we saw that it was apparent that he does hold him accountable in this year's playoffs. And I do think we would have given Boston. I think Boston would have won, but I would say maybe in 6 games.
Maybe six. Okay, maybe six. All right, man. Yeah, I mean, look, man, that Knicks team is good, and I say this, man. Every time the Knicks and the Lakers and like those big market teams are rocking, you just NBA world is rocking. NBA world is
For
lit.
sure.
So we're happy to see it. They had a good run this year. You can't be upset about it. But let's go ahead and look into what's coming up, which is the off season. So what I want to ask you is, as a Knicks fan, right? Let's say that the Knicks walk through that door right now and said, Jay, like, you tell us what's the number one thing we're gonna do coming into the offseason. So what's priority number one to you?
All right, first up, let me get this out the way. Trade Julius Randle. I want him off my roster, bro. Time and time again, he shows that he disappears in the playoffs, and I can't have that in New York. Can't have it at all. But if we don't go that route, we desperately need playmaking. There's times within the Knicks offense where a guy like Obi Toppin is wide open. He's calling for the ball. A guy like Mitchell Robinson is rolling to the rim wide open or has a mismatch on him and he doesn't get the ball. Jalen Brunson is a phenomenal offensive player. I mean, I've seen him score some really tough buckets over some of the best defenders in the league, but his court vision it's not good whatsoever. Julius Randle might be our best playmaker on the roster, and that worries me. And so I would say playmaking for sure. And shooting. We desperately need shooting. I think our best shooter is Quentin Grimes, but he doesn't have the volume. He doesn't take as many shots as I personally like him to for him to be effective. And we're just not a really good 3-point shooting team. I would like to surround if Julius Randle's still here, Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson with shooters because they do tend to get doubled. And I need Jalen Brunson to feel when he gets doubled, bro. It's like throwing a flashbang at him. Like he doesn't know what to do. So I think in those two areas we definitely have to improve. But let me reiterate, Knicks front office, please trade Julius Randle, please.
Dang, brother. All right. So look, I'll be honest with you. Like I had a whole plan as to how, like, I know I wanted, to talk to you through these things and like as we get through the show. And later on, when we got to the end of the show, I was gonna ask you like, okay, well, like, how do you feel about you rather trade as Julius Randle or RJ Barrett? But you just got,
Come
got
on.
straight to it. So I'm happy that I'm happy we there. So let's just go ahead and jump into it, brother. So look, you says trade Julius Randle and I'm not far off with you, right? Here's what I think. Because in my opinion, I think that the Knicks are kind of stuck right now with their current roster. Like right now, I think at their absolute best, they're just a really good regular season team. Like how you said, like I don't know if they can make it out the East, and to win a championship, you're gonna have to at least make it out the East with this current roster. So I think that you have to do something to change up the roster or bring in a piece so that you can make that leap from a really good regular season team to a contending team. And then I think that the best way to get there is going to be through either trading RJ, who's got a lot of trade value, and Julius Randle, who's also got a lot of trade value. I was going to ask RJ or Julius Randle. I'm leaning on the side of Julius Randle more, but I don't know because Julius Randle, does he have more trade value than RJ? Because he is older, but he's also the better player. So what are you thinking?
I would say that Julius Randle does have more trade value because he's more of a proven commodity. We pretty much know who Julius Randle is, and during the regular season, he will get you some wins. I'm not going to take that from him. He did have a really good regular season, but that's pretty much where he caps out at. And me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've said this before. RJ Barrett is untouchable. I'm not trading RJ Barrett for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm not doing it. I'm really high on RJ Barrett. I'm sorry, bro. Julius Randle, that on the other hand, he could go, but I'm not. I'm not sure how much you're gonna get for Julius Randle. I'm pretty sure the whole league knows about his red flags, and I don't think anybody wants to touch him. Hey, maybe Washington. They looking to blow everything up. Maybe Washington want him. I don't know.
Man, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm stuck with Julie. Maybe I have a little bit of bias with Julius Randle's because he was one of the baby Lakers. You know what I'm saying? One of the young. Yeah, he was on the Lakers and he was a youngin and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I know he's a playoff dropper, but like how you said, like he sometimes looks like he can be your number one option. Sometimes he'll go out for like a 40 piece and get a double double with it too, shooting from the 3-point line, getting to the hoop, doing everything. So sometimes he looks like he could be your number one option. But because he does have that playoff dropper tag with him, it's kind of hard to give him value. But on the other hand, on the other side of that, it's like how many players do you know in the league that could be your number one option sometimes? So it's like, who are you going to trade Julius Randle for that you're going to get back pieces? So who are you looking for if you trade Julius Randle?
I'm not gonna lie, I would really like Chris Middleton on the Knicks, bro. I would really like Chris Middleton if we could get him in a sign and trade with Julius Randle. But if the money probably wouldn't match because Chris Middleton might want to max. I don't know if he will get it because the last 2 years he really hasn't performed really well, and that injury he has like a little bit of a hinder of injury history since he made it to the finals. So I mean that may help us as well when it comes to his contract negotiations. People may not want to give him the max, so that may help. But I would really like a proven vet if we do trade Julius Randle.
Man, that yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I never thought about that. That'd be sneaky though. Chris Middleton to the Knicks. That would give you guys a whole nother playmaker, somebody who can take some pressure off Jalen Brunson and to
Mhm.
just put the ball in the bucket and just be able to go get a bucket on by himself. So that's a great addition. And he is a free agent this season, which is a great transition to let's talk about some free agents that the Knicks have. So I think first notably, we all know about Josh Hart. Played great for you guys. Was a key part of this Knicks team this last playoff run, and he is a free agent this upcoming offseason. So talk to me about what you're looking to do with Josh Hart. Probably looking to bring him back, right?
Yo, Clutch, that is not even a question. We bringing him back, bro. We bringing him back. We have to. I'm not gonna lie. He might be the second reason why we came out of that Cleveland Cavaliers series, bro. His defense on Donovan Mitchell, his shot making ability. I love the energy. Anytime Josh Hart is out there on the floor, we definitely have to bring him back, bro. That's not even a question, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Another baby Laker, another baby Laker. So shout out Josh Hart. And yeah, man, the only thing that I'm thinking with Josh Hart is like this. I think this offseason, the Knicks are really might have to overpay for him because he's a two-way player who really just proved his way in this league. And a
Mhm.
lot of teams are going to be coming and offering him some money. So I mean, the Knicks might have, they're going to have to match that if they want to keep him.
Yeah, now for sure. I'm with him. I'm with us overpaying for him because of what he brings to the game, and not a lot of play. You can't find a lot of players that really do the dirty the dirty work and do all the things you need to really come out of a game with the win.
Facts, right there with you. All right, so another free agent that you guys have is not as big of a name, but backup guard you guys have Miles McBride. How do you feel about that?
Miles McBride is a very underrated player. I know he doesn't get much PT with us, but when he's out there on the floor, he's a shot. He's a bucket. He can shoot the outside shot, and he plays really hard on defense. The only thing I don't like about Miles McBride is when he pulls up for those nasty mid range shots, bro. I'm not gonna lie, them that anytime he does it, it's a break and it's nasty to watch. But besides that, Miles McBride is a cool player. Are we gonna bring him back? I'm not sure, but if we don't, any team that gets him is gonna get a really nice player, bro.
Facts, man. Yeah, Miles McBride's a really good backup point guard. And then while we're talking about backup point guards, another news already broke today, so I don't even need to ask you about it. But Derrick Rose, I know the Knicks aren't bringing him back. Just want to show some love, some salute. Legend. But do you have any thoughts on Derrick Rose?
Hey man, Derrick Rose had a nice run in New York. I want to give him his praise, his flowers as well. In our first playoff run against the Atlanta Hawks in that first round, he was the reason. He was the reason we were any type of competitive, bro. Derrick Rose had a phenomenal year, and unfortunately, this year we seen him regress a bit, and that's obviously do so because he is aging and he's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career, and that's not to his fault. Derrick Rose, hey, we appreciated your time in New York, brother, and we hope you nothing but the best going forward.
Man, yeah. Shout out Derrick Rose, man. Legend, New York, Chicago, legend all over the world, man. Legend for sure. But then now I want to get into some players that are extension eligible because that's when it gets a little more juicy. We'll talk a little bit more of the better players, and
Mhm.
that's Emmanuel Quickly. He is extension eligible. So talk to me about how you're feeling about him because another player who you might have to overpay for.
All right, so when it comes to quickly, bro, there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. Sometimes the bad outweighs the good, and sometimes that's more than often. Quickly is a really good player. He pushes the pace. His decision making is questionable. His shot selection is questionable. Me personally, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this as if I'm the New York GM, which I should. If you guys are hiring, let me know. But I think they should move quickly and Evan Fournier, who's an expiring contract, to Washington and bring in Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones is a safe player. He knows how to run an offense. He's not going to take these bizarre shots that quickly tends to take. He can play make as well. I would like that behind Jalen Brunson more than what IQ brings, but considering IQ just won 6 man of the he didn't, but he was up there in the top three finalists for 6 man of the year. His trade value may be up there, and I'm just gonna put that out there. Any New York GMs in the front office watching, I like that
Think
move.
about it. Think
Yeah,
about
think
it,
about
man. Think about it, man. My boy Jay just dropped a real gem. Because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't thinking of that, but man, if the Knicks were able to add Tyus Jones as a backup point guard, that would be crazy. Because then you would, as your starting rotation, you have Jalen Brunson, a complete solid guard who can play make, who can score, and then off the bench, if you just would not have that drop off, because I feel like that's the problem right now with the Knicks is when Jalen Brunson is not on the court. There's a lot of times where playmaking, being able to just go get a bucket for yourself is just it looks very stagnant, especially in the playoffs when Julius Randle is figured out. So Tyus would unlock that offense. What a gem, brother. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah.
I like that.
Now for
And
sure,
then
the only
talk to me.
thing I would say is that I know IQ and Obi Toppin is close, and I just don't want Obi to feel some type of way that we traded his boy. I just don't want his play to drop off as well. That's the only thing I'll be a little worried about.
But okay, but Obi Toppin is the next guy I want to talk about. Obi Toppin is also extension eligible, and I've heard a lot of both sides from him. I've heard a lot of people saying like, "Man, I don't think he's panned out to the player that we thought he was going to be. Let's kind of move on from him." I've heard a lot of people are still very high on him, giving him a lot of chance, a lot of hope. How do you, as a Knicks fan, feel about Obi Toppin?
So when we drafted Obi, I was very high on him until I realized that we already have Julius Randle. Julius Randle, without a doubt, has caused Obi's growth to stagnate. And with that being said, Tom Thibodeau realized that, and he's really changed Obi's game. Instead of being the on-ball shot creator, you know what I'm saying. Instead of being that, he relegated him into being a corner 3-point specialist, which I don't like. That's stopping Obi from really hitting his ceiling, and I don't think he will ever be the player that he should be on the New York Knicks. And I wouldn't be mad if we do go separate ways with Obi, strictly in the benefit of his career long term.
Man, that would be crazy though if you guys go the other way with Obi Toppin, and I agree. I don't think he'll be able to hit his ceiling, in the New York Knicks, and I think that's also partially due to think the coach he's playing for, and I mean I think some of these last transitions from these topics have been great, and this will transition us exactly to my next topic, and that's Tom Thibodeau. Like Jay, like how do you feel about Coach Tom Thibodeau? I know at the top of the pod you said you like him. I personally, I don't know how I feel about him. Man. I feel like he runs his players into the ground. I feel like he tires them out, and then every single year, come playoffs, it ends up running dry. So I'm not very high on Tom Thibodeau. How do you feel about him?
All right, so I know I said I did like him, but I'm speaking for all Knicks fans out there. We all went through it. We have a love-hate relationship with Tibbs, bro. The last 2 years, the first year we liked him, he burst back to the playoffs. Yeah, Tibbs, coach of the year. Second year, we didn't make the playoffs. It looked like he didn't like holding his players accountable. It looked like he didn't want to play the young guys. He liked playing the old vets, Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose. Way too much minutes, and it showed. That's the reason. That's kind of the reason why we didn't make it to the playoffs. But this year, he saw the same type of trend at the beginning of the year. We weren't winning games when we had the old guys out there. He was mismatching the lineups. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what worked, seeing what didn't, and ultimately around the halfway mark, maybe around January, he was like, "All right, Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier, y'all are not in the rotation no more. Y'all are not. I'm playing the young guys They play way better out there than you guys. And once he did that, bro, we looked like a far better team. Everybody knew their role. And the chemistry was there. Everybody was more comfortable. We started getting wins, and it was beautiful. And I appreciate Tips for that, because a lot of coaches would just ride with the old vets, and he finally realized he was able to change his ways and his way of thinking. And with that being said, I appreciate Tips for that. And like I said, in the playoffs, he held Julius Randle accountable when he wasn't playing well, and that's the biggest thing for me when it comes to Tibbs. So Tibbs got my stamp of approval, man.
That's real, man. That's real. That's real because a lot of coaches sometimes struggle to make that change and struggle to be able to, adapt. I think number one we think of is Coach Bud from the Bucks. Struggles to adapt, struggles to make changes. So, shout out, Coach. Shout out, Coach Tip, doing this thing, man. Let's see if the Knicks can have a better run for this next upcoming year. And that'll be, that'll kind of lead me to my last question to you, brother, is if you could, I think a way to tie it up and finish up this episode would be like, if you could give us a word or a phrase to describe about how you felt as a Knicks fan this last year, and then give us another word or another phrase to describe about how you feeling about this upcoming year as a Knicks fan.
All right, so this last year, like after it or like before the year started?
Yeah, like now that the year is over, now this last year, now that it's over.
I would say determined. As a Knicks fan, I'm determined. I'm determined to get better. I'm determined to get further in the playoffs, and I'm determined. I'm determined to make this roster overall a contender. To be honest, and what was the second one?
And then the second one is like, how are you feeling about it coming into this next year?
Coming into this next year, I can't say that just yet because free agency haven't started, and I need them to address the issues that we had discussed. But if they do, if we address even one, either the playmaking or the shooting, either one, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling confident that we could be a top 5 seed. One, we were in top 5. We were 5.
You guys were the 5th seed this last year, yeah.
So we could be a top 5 seed again. I'm not gonna say we're gonna be above that because the top of the Eastern Conference is heavy, bro. It's heavy to crack that top 4. But I do think we will be a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference this upcoming year, bro.
Okay, man. Well, man, for the family out there, man, you guys heard it here first. We have my guy Jay, and real Knicks fan, real Knicks advocate, man.
Hey, baby.
Yes, sir, man. We have my guy Jay. We talked all about the Knicks, but my brother, do you have any last words to say before we get up out of here?
I'm not gonna lie. Hey, just Knicks tape. It's Knicks tape. That's all I gotta say, man.
Knicks tape, man. Knicks tape. Y'all already know, man. For the family out there, make sure you check out all of Jay's content, man. Everything will be linked in the description down below. Social medias, YouTube. Check him out. Great NBA content creator. And for the family out there, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. And I'll see y'all. Catch y'all on the next video. We out of here, y'all.